Yes, welcome again, boys and girls, and it's morning this end. Yeah, thank you for tuning in and thank you for listening to the readings. And I want to thank you. I know I've got young listeners as young as 2 months old. I know a baby called Luyanda, and she is listening every day. She's only 2 months old, and she already knows Auntie's voice and Auntie's face. Thank you very much for that. And please, 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 for those who can you go and subscribe on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Auntie Audrey Reads. If you subscribe, we get more people to listen to these readings. Thank you very much, boys and girls. You know, I enjoy so much, and I'm happy when you listen to me. We are on story 2 today of part 3, and it says God's sheep builder. God's sheep builder. You can find the story in Genesis chapter 9 verse 17, Genesis chapter 6 verse 9 to 17. Sorry, that's where you can find this story. Yeah, so I'll quickly pray. Good morning, dear Jesus. This day is for you. I ask you to bless all I think, say, and do. Amen. God's sheep builder. As God began to look for someone to tell the people about his plans, he thought of Noah. About 600 years old, Noah was a man who God could trust with this task. Keen, alert, and vigorous, he was one of the wisest men of his day. Though evil was all around him, he remained loyal to God and to what is right. The Bible says, Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked with God. Like Enoch, Noah stayed close to God. No doubt this is why God chose him for this important job of warning the people about the flood that would soon come. Most likely, Noah was a farmer, a man of the soil. Certainly, he was a skilled builder, or he never could have carried out God's instructions for making the ark. By this time, people surely had boats of many kinds on their beautiful lakes and rivers. One day, one of the great days in history, God came to Noah and said, I am going to put an end to all people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. I am going to bring flood waters on the earth to destroy all life under the heavens, every creature that has the breath of life in it. Everything on earth will perish. The news must have saddened Noah. He knew that the people around him were very wicked and that they needed to be punished. But for God to destroy everybody in the whole beautiful world, that was something too dreadful to think about. Even as God talked of punishment, he also told of a way out. Anyone who wanted to could follow God's plan and escape from the flood. Make yourself an ark of cypress wood, God said. An ark? That meant something that would float. We could call it a ship, but would it be large enough to hold all the people who might want to find safety from the flood in it? Noah must have been amazed at the figures God gave him. It was no small lifeboat that God had in mind, but a huge vessel. It was to be 515 feet or 157 meters long, 26 meters wide, and 16 meters high. That's no longer than a football field and about half as wide. Why did God ask Noah to build so large a ship? First, he wanted all to know that the ship had room for them if they wished to be saved. Second, he planned to rescue many birds and animals in it. And third, he knew it would have to ride out the worst storms and the roughest seas of all time. After Noah was alone again, he must have thought for a long time about what God had asked him to do. What a lot of trees would have to be cut down and hauled to the building site. Imagine all the sewing, planning, shaping that would have to be done, and all the men who would have to be hired and paid. It was a huge task for anyone to tackle. Noah also must have wondered what everybody would think when they saw him building a ship more than 150 meters long. Most likely, they would say he was out of his mind, throwing his money away on a crazy idea. But Noah did everything just as God commanded him. People do just that, regardless of what others may think of them when they are walking with God. So Noah started to work, drawing the plans, preparing the lumber, and laying the keel. After the first, at first, the neighbors probably didn't take much notice, but as the years went by, and one by one the great wooden ribs of the vessel were fastened in place, it became clear that Noah was building a ship, not a barn. Noah's neighbors began to make fun of him. How they laughed. They could see no reason for building anything like this. What would anybody want with a boat this big? They probably felt quite sure it wouldn't float anywhere, even if Noah could get it into the water. Noah tried to explain, but it was no use. As people flocked to watch his work, he warned them of the flood that was coming and explained that God had told him to build a place of safety for those who wanted it. The more he tried to explain, however, the more they made fun of him. But he went on building and preaching just the same. And the last few years of that beautiful world slipped away. So this was story 2. Thank you for listening, boys and girls. And you know what? It is very important never ever to laugh at other boys and girls, or even to laugh at adults. It's not a good thing to laugh at people, especially when people are doing their best in life.